Autism is a very diverse condition, I've found. If I'm in a situation where I'm asked to do something or I'm presented with something like out of the blue, like in a restaurant or in a supermarket, and then there's a queue and then the staff say, this till's shut now, come to this one, and then someone else says something else to me at the same time, completely unrelated to it, that'll just throw me out.
Autism is a different way of thinking. So it's not a mental health condition, it's not a learning disability. It's a neuropsychological difference that someone's experienced from birth, but it's a huge spectrum. There are often people who have the ability to get into situations that might go wrong for them.
What usually happens is I get told not to swear and shout and that it's no excuse, and then I have to explain, no, it isn't an excuse, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be like that in the first place, you know. And people just probably see it as being ill-mannered, or they probably see me as being sort of a not a nice person, when in fact the situation that's occurred, no one's made any allowances, including myself, because then I've not made allowances for other people because they're on a different level, and you know, the worst case scenario can ensue.
It was actually a group of practitioners that had collaboratively got together from Working Links, from our CRC and from Sequel to identify that there was a really important need, a diversity need that was being missed within our service, and that was making reasonable adjustments to work with individuals exhibiting traits of autism or with an autism diagnosis. Working Links made a commitment to help train all frontline practitioners. That's from reception staff to senior managers, so we all have more of an awareness of traits of autism, of understanding diagnosis and picking out some of the signs and symptoms that people might be presenting.
I tend to be straight, whereas I wouldn't say nobody else is, but that's the only thing I know how to be, and a bit forthright, and sometimes it can be a bit obtuse, sometimes it can be a bit sharp or a bit blunt. But I found that being like that has helped me to maintain a certain level of honesty, even in my dishonesty.
The police services, they need to understand that should be part of their qualification, I believe, when they're training to be policemen and policewomen, is to learn about autism. It may sound funny, strange, but somebody who's been in trouble might be autistic. And if they don't have no lack of understanding, they might very well approach them in the wrong manner. Some people who are autistic do not know how to deal with the police. And I know what I'm talking about because I'm talking about me. Those who do stop and searches, all they'll get me doing is putting up a shield. But they need to understand about our lack of patience. They need to understand how excitable we can get. They cannot understand the irritations, the lack of patience that stems from somebody like myself.
We meet people at quite a difficult point in their life. So they won't necessarily be feeling happy when they come in to meet us for the first time because they've offended, and that's being sort of dealt with. But very often the diagnosis for somebody is quite a significant point in actually building on someone's self-esteem. So somebody might for a long time have felt that they were fundamentally bad, wrong, different. They might have been told by a lot of people that they were weird, odd, different and bad. And having a diagnosis and having really good quality support around that can help you to see yourself as wired differently. And what we can also do, and again support probation staff to do, is see the strengths that person with autism has. So many people with autism have an amazing ability to focus on things that they're interested in, might have a way better attention for detail than most other people have. And those factors might both help with self-esteem, but they also might help the probation officer and other staff to plan a really good, positive future for that individual, where they can see themselves succeeding, potentially because of their autism, where they might have been seeing those kind of other traits of social communication in a very negative way before.
I want to be able to believe in myself. I want my self-belief, my confidence, my self-esteem. I want my levels to change. I want them to be greatened, not lessened. I want to be able to learn and hopefully one of the days, get before my end of days, know what it is to be in employment. Employment that I like doing, because my mind, my autistic mind, cannot handle just any work. If it's boring, if it's really down to earth, there's just no way I'll just stand it for about 2 or 3 hours and I have to walk out. My mind cannot handle very stressful work. And boring work is very stressful.
This service is vitally important to be considered by other agencies. We're doing a lot of work at the minute with prisons, with our colleagues in the National Probation Service, with the Parole Board, and we're trying to get those organisations to understand that they must make these reasonable adjustments to address individuals that are exhibiting traits of autism or have an autism diagnosis, so they really do get full access to the services we deliver.
I think everybody's an individual. They've got to learn by their own mistakes, but, and this is the important but, be shown where they've made a mistake, because they might not know where to learn from.